All right, today we are diving into a feeling that, let's be honest, a lot of us have felt, but maybe we don't really have a name for it. It's that nagging sense that something's watching you, judging you, tracking you. We're going to break down what that is, and more importantly, how you can take your focus back from it. You know that feeling, right? It's so strange. It's not like there's someone physically in the room. It's more, well, it's like a focused intention, just aimed right at you. It's this heavy weight that you just can't seem to shake. And that's really the heart of it, this feeling of having an invisible audience that seems to feed off of everything you do. You get a little win, and you can almost feel this quiet resentment coming from somewhere. You slip up, and it's like there's this silent celebration. It is absolutely exhausting because it keeps you on edge, always performing, always second-guessing yourself. So what in the world is this pressure? Let's get into it. In this first part, the unseen audience, we're going to give this thing a name, and we're going to try to understand what it's all about. Because once you can see it for what it is, you can start taking away its power. The material we're looking at gives this a name, monitoring spirits. Now, look, you can take that literally as a spiritual thing, or you can see it as a really powerful metaphor for a psychological pattern, like that inner critic we all have, or maybe just negative energy from other people. Honestly, the label doesn't really matter as much as what it does. It's a force that feels like it's watching, and it gets all its power from your attention. And this is the most important part. Without you, these forces are completely powerless. Your worry, your fear, that constant feeling of being watched, that is the very fuel that keeps them going. You are literally handing over your power every single time you give in to that feeling. Okay, so if they survive on our awareness, how does that actually work? How do they feed? That's what we're going to get into next. If we can understand the currency they operate on, well, then we can figure out how to cut off the supply. Man, this slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? It's a perfect picture of the dynamic here. Look at the left side. That's what feeds them. Your awareness, your big emotional reactions, your fear. Now look at the right. That's what starves them. Your silence, your discipline, your clarity. It is a direct counter strategy. You see, they don't just watch what you do, they feed on how you react. That little jolt of fear, that wave of anger, that need to jump up and explain yourself. That's their money. That's their currency. By getting access to your inner world, they get everything they need to thrive. Oh, I absolutely love this quote. It totally reframes how we should think about being private. We live in a world that's always pushing us to share everything. But choosing silence, not broadcasting your next move, not explaining why you're doing what you're doing, that's not weak. It's a power move. It's camouflage. It makes you invisible to whatever is trying to drain you. Okay, so we've defined the problem. We know how it works. Now for the good part. How do we actually fight back? In this section, Starving the Watchers, we're going to walk through a really clear, actionable plan to take your energy back. And here's the game plan. 4 steps. Just 4. Stop performing, cut access, build structure, and face yourself. Now, it's a simple process, but that doesn't mean it's easy. It takes real intention. So let's break each one down. Step 1 is all about getting off the stage. Live your life for you, not for some invisible crowd. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your goals. When you stop broadcasting everything you're doing, you stop giving the watchers a show to consume. Step 2 goes a little deeper. This is about emotional discipline. When you feel that pressure, that little poke trying to get a reaction, the goal is to just observe it and not react. Don't give it that emotional spike it's looking for. This is where you literally cut off their food supply. No reaction, no energy, they starve. It's that simple. Think of this step like building a fortress around yourself. A solid routine, a disciplined mind. These things create an environment where chaos just can't survive. These monitoring forces, they love chaos and uncertainty. So when you build structure in your life, you're creating a place where they just can't get a foothold. And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? Darkness feeds chaos, but structure breaks its teeth. Think of your daily habits, your organized thoughts, your clear boundaries. Think of them as a weapon. It doesn't just defend against these chaotic forces, it actively breaks them. And finally, step 4. And this is often the hardest one. Sometimes that watcher isn't out there at all. Sometimes it's right inside. It can be the echo of a critical parent, a deep insecurity, a past trauma, and facing it doesn't mean you have to fight it. It just means seeing it clearly, understanding where it came from, and by doing that, you rob it of all its power. So, what happens when you actually do this? When you commit to this strategy? What's the real payoff for all this work? Our last section, Reclaiming Your Power, is all about the incredible shift that happens when you finally succeed. It's really that simple and, at the same time, that profound. It's like a parasite without a host. Once you take away its food source, it just withers away. The pressure lifts, the noise in your head gets quiet, and that feeling of constantly being judged just vanishes. And what rushes in to fill that empty space? Your own power, your energy, your focus, your peace of mind. It all comes flooding back to you. You're not living defensively anymore. You're living on purpose, from a place of real strength. So I'll just leave you with this to think about. For anyone out there who's felt this pressure and has already started fighting back, what changed for you? And for those of you just starting this journey, what do you think could change if you decided today to stop feeding the unseen? The answer to that question, that's where your power is.